are coming with me.
No, I'm not going anywhere!
Yes, you are.
If anyone has any reason why these two should not be married, speak now. The priest's eyes moved across the hall as it went silent. I stood at the altar in a white dress. My hands shook as I tried to remember last night, but my mind felt blank. Frankie smiled and nudged me, drawing my mind back to the present. I smiled back, ready to marry him. But then a deep voice declared from behind, "I object." My heart hammered against my ribs. A man in a black jacket and a hat walked in with several men behind him. Father Gideon's face went white. His hands trembled so badly the Bible shook. "Lord, have mercy," he whispered, making the sign of the cross. Why was everyone so scared? Frankie's mother had her hand over her mouth, her eyes wide. Frankie's father stood up from his seat like he might run, but then sat back down quickly, his face gray. Even Frankie. I turned to look at my almost husband. Frankie's face had lost all its color. Sweat beaded on his forehead. His hands shook. He looked like he might throw up or pass out or both. The man stopped at the altar. "Get your hands off my wife," he growled. Frankie fidgeted and let go of me at once. "Don't speak to him like that." I tried to take Frankie's hand again, but he didn't let me. "Frankie, what's going on?" He looked at the man, then at me. "We're doomed." Up close, the man was tall, so tall I had to tilt my head back to meet his eyes. I could smell his clearly expensive cologne from where I stood. Heat came off him. His eyes moved down my body slowly, over my face, my neck, the white dress, down to my feet and back up again. My skin went hot. My stomach turned over. "Who are you? Why are you here?" He smiled. "It's a crime not to know me, given our relationship." "What relationship? You know what? I don't even care who you are. You are interrupting my wedding. Just leave." People in the hall began to whisper, but he didn't move. I looked at Frankie. He was still shaking. "Leave this place at once." "Not without you. And who the hell do you think you are to say that?" "Don Romano Gotti," Frankie answered like a scaredy cat. "The Mafia king." I paused. I had heard of him, the ruthless Mafia boss that no one wanted to cross. His face looked so familiar, but I could not remember from where. "You forgot your husband so soon, my beautiful Viviana?" I frowned. "Husband?" Frankie looked at me, waiting for an answer. "You're not my husband. Frankie is. We're getting married." "Not when you wear my ring. I would never let you be with anyone else." His eyes moved to my neck. "Ring?" I touched my neck and pulled out a chain. A ring hung from it. I gasped. "That is not mine, Viv," Frankie said. "It isn't. I put it there last night," Don Romano interrupted. My head started to hurt. Images flashed through my mind. Last night, for my bachelorette party, the girls and I were supposed to go to some fancy restaurant, but I went to see Frankie first. I don't remember what happened after that, but my mind felt blank. I remember wandering off. I needed air, and somehow I ended up at a club. I danced, drunk too much, and then him. A man had appeared through the crowd, tall, with dark eyes. He'd smiled at me. "Dance with me," he'd said. I'd taken his hand. We'd danced, his hands on my waist, my arms around his neck. We'd laughed, talked. "For the first time in forever, I feel alive," I'd told him. "Then stay alive with me. Stay with me forever." His lips had been on my ear, my jaw, my throat. "Let's do it, right now." I'd laughed. "You're crazy." "Say yes." The bar. Him asking to buy me a drink, me saying yes. One drink, maybe more. Him whispering, "Will you marry me?" But nothing else. I couldn't have said yes. Or did I? Frankie stepped forward, his whole body trembling. "We had no idea she was your wife. Please don't hurt my family." Romano looked at me. "You're coming with me." "No." I reached for Frankie. Romano took out a gun and aimed it straight at Frankie's head. Screams erupted throughout the church. People dove under pews. Father Gideon fell to his knees. My heart stopped. All the air left my lungs. "Don't shoot him, please," I begged. I threw myself between them, my whole body shaking. Romano looked at Frankie. "Do you want to fight me for her?" Frankie lowered his hands. "No, take her. I never loved her. She's an orphan my family has been helping out, and I only wanted to marry her out of pity." "Frankie!" My breath caught, my chest squeezed, tears burned hot down my face. "You never loved me?" He looked away. "You're the one who got married." Romano put the gun away and held out his hand. "Come with me." "No, I won't." "You will. I choose Frankie, and I have chosen you." He moved fast. His arms were around me. He lifted me off my feet and threw me over his shoulder. "Put me down," I screamed. I beat my fists against his back, kicked my legs. "Let me go. Help! Someone help me." His arm locked around the back of my thighs. He turned and walked back down the aisle. Romano's shoulder dug into my stomach. I could feel his back shifting under my hands. "Somebody help me!" My screams bounced off the walls. No one moved. Outside, a black car waited. He put me inside and sat next to me. The door closed and the car drove away. I looked back at the church as it faded from view. I got drunk the night before my wedding, and now I was married to Romano Gotti, the Mafia king. I hit the car window as the car drove on. I tried the door, but it was locked and would not open. "Let me out!" I screamed. "No." I turned to the window again. The church was gone. I turned back to him, my eyes filled with tears. "You ruined my wedding." He grabbed my chin. "It was not your wedding." He stared into my eyes. "It was," I said softly. "You were already married." He dragged the chain from my neck, removed the ring, and put it on my finger. "I was drunk. I don't even remember it." "What's done is done." I looked at him. "Why me?" He did not respond. "Why did you do this?" I asked again. "Because you're my wife," he said. "But I don't know you." "And you will." I folded my arms and looked away. The car stopped in front of a large house. The gate opened and the driver parked near the entrance. Romano stepped out and stretched out his hand to take mine. I kept my arms folded. "I am not coming out." He reached into the car, held my arm, pulled me out, and took me inside. 2 men stood by the door and moved aside as we approached. Inside, the house was large. The furniture, the walls, the tall ceilings, and the windows all looked expensive. "I want to go home." "This is your home, Viviana." "It's not," I sobbed. "It is now." I tried to run back to the door, but one of the men blocked me. "Let me through." He did not move. Romano walked to me and took my hand. "Come. I won't stay here. You have no choice." "I do." "You don't." I followed him upstairs because I did not know what else to do. He opened a door into a large room. It had a big bed with soft mattresses. A closet covered one wall, and there was a bathroom to the side. "This is your new room. You will stay here." "For how long?" "As long as I say." "You can't keep me here." "I can." My chest tightened. "Frankie will come for me. He will call the police." He laughed. "No, he won't. Not if he wants to survive." I sat on the edge of the bed. My head hurt. "You took advantage of me because I was drunk. We are both adults, and you agreed to marry me." "But I don't love you. I love Frankie." "You will get used to your new life with me, your husband." He left the room. I stood and went to the door. I tried the handle, but it did not open. I hit it with my hand. "Open the door!" No one answered. I walked to the window. It was locked. Even if it was open, it was too high to jump. I pressed my hands to my face. My makeup was smudged. A knock came, and the door opened. One of the men walked in with a tray of food. "Eat." "I'm not hungry." "You should eat, miss." "I want to go home." He set the tray on the bedside table. "This is your home." "No, it's not." He looked at me for a moment, then left and locked the door again. I looked at the food: bread, rice, chicken, and water. I had not eaten since morning. I sat down and ate a little. I was hungry. Hours passed. It became dark. The door opened again. This time it was Romano. "I see you've eaten." He closed the door. I felt embarrassed that I could not ignore my hunger longer. Some people who are abducted go for days without food, but I had eaten within hours. "You can't keep me locked in here." "Oh, I can." "Why?" "Because you're my wife." "I forced you into this." "I didn't force you, Viviana." He took off his jacket and placed it on a chair. "Frankie needs to know where I am. He needs to understand what happened." "There's no need. They already know what happened. You're my wife. That's all." I stood up. "Take me back. I don't want this." "It doesn't matter." "It matters to me." He stepped closer. I stepped back. "Don't touch me." "I won't hurt you, Viviana." "I don't have any reason to trust you." "Fine, then don't trust me." "What do you want?" "You. Here." I shook my head. "This is wrong." He looked at me for a long time. "Good night, Viviana. I'll make sure nobody bothers you." He walked to the door. "Wait." He stopped. "Do you know why I married you?" "You were angry." "At who?" "At Frankie." My chest tightened again. "Over what?" "Only you can answer that." He left the room, and the door locked. I sat on the bed and stared at the wall. I tried to remember last night again. The music, drinks, laughter. Don Romano close to me. He said, "Marry me." I remembered this time that I hugged him and said yes. There was more. We went to a small chapel. We got married. We kissed. Oh no. I lay down. I didn't know how to fix this. Chapter 3. I waited until I heard no sound coming from outside. Then I opened the door slowly and stepped out. The hallway was empty. I walked away from the main stairs. I looked for another way down, but a guard turned the corner. He saw me. "Mrs. Gotti, you shouldn't be out." "I'm just walking. I want to clear my head." "The boss wants you in your room." He walked towards me. "I'll take you back." I ran. He shouted behind me, but I didn't stop. I found the stairs and ran down. The front door was ahead. I was almost there. I touched it, but hands grabbed me from behind. "Let me go," I yelled. "I have orders to stop you from leaving, Mrs. Gotti." Romano walked in. He saw the guard holding me. "Let her go," he barked. The guard released me, but Romano charged after him. He punched him and the guard fell. He hit him over and over until the guard had blood all over his face. "No one touches her," he roared. "Now get out." He kicked the man on the ground, and he got up trembling and ran. Romano held my waist. "That was foolish, Viviana." "I need to leave." "You are not leaving." "I will keep trying." "And I will keep stopping you." "What do I have to do to get you to let me leave?" "The only way out is death." I moved back, but his grip around my waist only tightened. "I'll make you a deal." "What deal?" "Give me a child, and then, after that, you can leave alive." I stared at him. "A child? That's ridiculous," I huffed. "I can barely stand you. Why the hell will I want to have a child for you?"
Because that's the only way you get to leave alive. Even if you manage to escape my grasp, I'll hunt you down till you breathe your last breath. This is the only way you'll be free to live your life the way you desire." I paused. "Even if I agreed, how do I know that you'll still let me go?" "I give you my word." My eyes searched his. "And the baby?" "Stays with me." I don't know if I can do that. I don't want to have a baby with you, and I'll never consider abandoning my child." "Good. You're stuck with me for the rest of your life, wife." I pulled myself away from him. Living with him as man and wife? No way! I wasn't going to stay stuck with him forever. "I need time to think about your offer. Take it. Until then, you stay here, and after you just tried to escape, you'll be sleeping in my bed." "What? No, I can't be in the same room with you." "Why not? You're my wife, after all." He touched my face. "Are you afraid? Because underneath your pretense, you want me." "I do not. I could never want a beast like you." He smirked. "We'll see." He walked away. I stood alone in the living room. The only way out was to give him a child, or die.
I sat on the sofa. It seemed like a better place to stay than Don Romano's room, and soon I slept off. But when I opened my eyes, I was lying on a bed right next to him. I sat up on the bed. My eyes were swollen from crying, but I watched him sleeping peacefully. God, he was so handsome, his features perfectly sculptured. "Snap out of it, Viv," I told myself. He was a monster who killed for a living and did every shady business you can think of. Or so I had heard from Frankie's family. "You should sleep." His eyes suddenly opened. I gasped. "I wasn't looking at you. I just can't sleep." He sat up beside me and took my hand. "Give me time. Let me show you this life is not as bad as you think. You hurt people for a living." "No, I protect my family. That doesn't make it right." He touched my face. "You are so beautiful but innocent." "Don't. I'm your husband now, so forget Frankie. He was going to marry me, but you took that away from us." He laughed meanly. "You mean the same Frankie who married someone else today?" My body went still. "What?" "He married another woman at the same church." "I don't believe you. I need to see it for myself." "All right then, get dressed." His hand gestured to a wardrobe full of female dresses. I walked over to it and paused, surprised. "I got them ready for you." The dresses looked expensive. I was going to borrow one of them to wear so that I could see Frankie, and who knows, Frankie and I might find a way to escape from Don Romano's grip. We drove back to the church. Guests were leaving. Frankie walked out with another woman. He was smiling. He even kissed her. And then I remembered more from that night before my wedding. I'd caught him cheating on me with this very same woman. I left upset, got drunk, and ended up in a bar. Now I felt empty. I couldn't confront them, didn't have the courage to. Romano stood in front of me so they would not see me. I cried into his chest. He took me home. "Are you okay?" he asked as soon as we got back to his estate. My eyes were filled with tears. "The deal." I accepted. He looked at me, shocked. "You are sure?" "Yes. I will give you a child, and in exchange, you'll let me go someplace far away from here." He kissed me deeply. "Tell me to stop." I didn't. How could I? I wanted this. I wanted to forget about Frankie. He didn't love me. He only wanted to marry me out of pity. Don Romano lifted me into his arms and carried me into his bedroom. We shared an intimacy I never had with any man. It was intense, powerful. He made love to me over and over again. I felt everything, every touch, every kiss, every moment our bodies moved together. When it was over, I lay in his arms, breathing hard, my body tingling. I felt confused, satisfied, guilty, sad, happy, all at once. What was happening to me? Soon, I'd forgotten whatever voice in my head that had told me he was a monster. The man I slept with could never be a beast. He was so gentle and loving. Right on that bed with him, I'd seen a different man than the city knew. The morning after we were together for the first time, I woke up to sunlight crossing the ceiling. For a moment, I forgot where I was. Then I felt his arm around me, and I remembered everything. I did not want to move. I did not want to think about what any of this meant. I just lay there and let myself breathe. He stirred beside me. "You are awake," he said. His voice was low and rough from sleep. "Yes." "Did you sleep?" "Better than I expected." He pulled me closer, and I let him. My head rested on his chest, and I listened to his steady heartbeat. I felt safe in a way I could not explain and did not try to. I felt so at peace in his strong arms and broad chest, and with thoughts of Frankie far away from my mind. I heard movement in the room. I opened my eyes. Romano was standing near the door. He had a shirt on, but it was not buttoned. I watched him as he shut the door. He came closer, carrying a tray in his hands. "You are awake, Viviana. Good. I guess I slept off again." He sat on the edge of the bed and looked at me. "Are you hungry?" He set the tray on the bed in front of me. It had eggs, toast, orange juice, fresh fruit on the side. I looked at the tray and then at him. I realized I was. "A little. He had breakfast while you were sleeping, so this is all yours." I did not have to do this. "I know." He reached over and poured the juice himself. "Eat." I ate. He sat beside me the whole time. He did not eat. He just stayed there. Sometimes he looked at his phone. Sometimes he just watched me. It did not feel strange. It felt natural in a way I was not ready to think about too deeply. The next few weeks passed in a blur. Romano and I made love constantly. We couldn't keep our hands off of each other. In the bedroom, in the shower, in the bathtub, on the kitchen counter late at night when everyone else was asleep. Everywhere. My body craved him. The moment he touched me, I forgot everything else. I told myself it was just physical, just my way of getting over Frankie. Romano believed it was just about the baby, about getting me pregnant so he could have his heir. But we were lying to ourselves. We both couldn't deny the intense chemistry between us, or the fact that we dreaded being apart from each other. I would wake up every morning and he would already be awake. Sometimes he was on his phone or talking to his men. Sometimes he stood by the window looking at the grounds below. But he was always there. I had gotten used to him being around. Still, I could not forget the deal. Once I gave him a child, he would not want me anymore, and I would have no reason to stay. I started to notice things about him. The way he always made sure I ate breakfast, the way he'd brush my hair back when it fell in my face, the way he'd hold my hand when we walked through the gardens. Small things, gentle things, and I started to worry about him. He'd leave at night sometimes, late. He'd be gone for hours. I'd lie awake in bed, staring at the ceiling, waiting for him to come back. What if something happened to him? What if someone shot him? What if he didn't come back? The thoughts made my chest tight. One night, he came back at 3 a.m. I was still awake. "Where were you?" I asked as he walked into the bedroom. He looked surprised to see me awake. "Business." "What kind of business?" I sat up in bed. "The kind you don't need to worry about." He started unbuttoning his shirt. "I do worry." The words came out before I could stop them. "I'm not falling for you." I crossed my arms. "I'm just not wanting you to do bad things." He walked to the bed, sat down next to me. His hand touched my face. "I do what I have to do to protect my family," he said. "That won't change." "Then I'll keep worrying." Something shifted in his expression. His eyes softened. He kissed me, slow and deep, and once again, I forgot everything else. "What are you thinking about?" he asked one morning. "Nothing," I lied. "I'll be back soon," he kissed me. "Duty calls." "Be safe." "He will," he smiled. Then he left. The house felt different when he was not there. When he came back, I felt excited.
I couldn't wait to get back to you, he whispered as he lifted me into his arms and carried me into the bedroom. Later, he was in the kitchen, wearing a plain shirt and trousers, standing at the counter with a cup of coffee. You left, I said. He looked at me over the cup. I am right here. I mean, from the room. His face turned serious.
Sit down. I sat at the kitchen table. He made me coffee without asking how I liked it. It tasted just right. Somehow, he knew. He passed a file to me. "What is this?" I asked. I opened it while he watched me read. A contract. For a baby. $1 million. I looked up at him, shocked. "We have an agreement. This just makes it official. When you deliver the baby, he or she will belong to me alone, and you will have your freedom, far away from here, just as you wanted, if that is still what you want." "Of course," I said. "Nothing has changed." But the truth was, I did not know what I wanted anymore. Being with him was not as bad as I first thought. "Can I take some time to look at this before I sign?" "Sure," he said, and nodded. A month passed. Then 2. I started feeling sick in the mornings, dizzy, tired all the time. One day I was walking down the stairs and the world spun. My knees buckled. Romano caught me before I hit the ground. "Viviana!" His face was pale. "What's wrong?" "I don't know. I feel dizzy." "We're going to the hospital, now." He carried me to the car. He drove faster than I'd ever seen him drive. His jaw was tight. His hands gripped the steering wheel. His knuckles were white. At the hospital, they ran tests. Romano held my hand the whole time. He wouldn't leave my side. Finally, a doctor came in with a smile. "Congratulations," she said. "You're pregnant." I stared at her. My hand went to my stomach. Pregnant. I was going to have a baby. Romano's baby. I looked at Romano. His eyes were wide. Then a huge smile spread across his face. "A baby," he said. He laughed. Actually laughed. "We're having a baby." He kissed me right there in the hospital room, hard and passionate. After that, everything changed. Romano wouldn't let me do anything. He hired people to cook for me, to clean, to help me with everything. He bought me vitamins, made sure I rested, canceled his business trips so he could stay home with me. At night, he'd put his hand on my stomach, talking to the baby, even though it was too small to hear yet. "I'm going to be the best father," he told my belly. "I'm going to protect you, give you everything." I watched him and my heart ached. He was so happy, so excited. And I was going to leave. That was the deal. Have the baby, give him his heir, then I was free to go. But I didn't want to go anymore. I was in love with him. I'd fallen completely, hopelessly in love with Romano Gotti. But I couldn't tell him. He only wanted me for the baby. Once the baby was born, he'd probably be happy to see me go. So I kept my feelings to myself. I smiled when he talked to my stomach. I let him take care of me. I made love to him every night, and I tried not to think about the day I'd have to leave. I was 4 months pregnant when Romano finally said the words. We were lying in bed. His hand was on my small baby bump. The sun was coming up through the windows. "I love you," he said quietly. I froze. My heart stopped. "What?" He turned to look at me. His green eyes were serious, intense. "I love you, Viviana. I'm in love with you." Tears filled my eyes. "Romano, I know the deal was just for the baby. I know you want to leave after, but I can't let you go. I love you too much." "I love you too," I whispered. The words burst out of me. "I've been in love with you for weeks, but I didn't think you felt the same." He kissed me, deep and passionate. "You're mine," he said against my lips. "Forever. Deal or no deal. I'm never letting you go." "Good." I kissed him back. because I'm not going anywhere. We made love as the sun rose, slow and tender. I'd never been so happy. That afternoon, everything fell apart. I was in the garden reading a book when I heard shouting from the front of the house. I stood up, my hand on my belly. Then I saw him. Frankie. He was at the front gate, yelling at the guards. "I need to see Viviana. Please. I made a mistake." My breath caught. Romano came out of the house. His face was dark, angry. "Get him out of here," he told his guards. "Wait," Frankie called. "Viviana, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I want you back." I walked toward them. My legs felt shaky. Frankie saw me. His eyes went wide. You're pregnant?" His voice cracked. "Yes." I put my hand on my stomach. Is it mine?" "No." Romano stepped in front of me. "It's mine. She's mine. Everything about her is mine." Frankie's face crumpled. "V, please, I made a mistake. I should have fought for you. I should have protected you. But I was scared. I'm not scared anymore. Leave him. Come back to me." I stared at this man I'd loved my whole life, this man I thought I'd marry, and I felt nothing. No love, no longing, nothing. "I don't love you, Frankie," I said. My voice was steady. "I love my husband." "Your husband is a monster. He's a killer. He's dangerous." "He's the father of my child, and he's the man I love." Romano turned to look at me. His eyes were bright. Frankie started crying. "Please, V, please, I need you. My wife left me. I have nothing, but you have everything. You're married to Romano Gotti. He has money and power. You could help me. You could give me money, just a little, please." My stomach turned. He didn't want me. He wanted Romano's money. "Get out," Romano said. His voice was deadly quiet. "Before I kill you." "You can't keep her prisoner," Frankie yelled. Romano pulled out his gun and pointed it at Frankie's head. I said, "Get out." Frankie ran. I watched him disappear down the street. Then I turned to Romano. "Are you okay?" he asked. He put his gun away and pulled me into his arms. "I'm fine. I'm better than fine. I'm exactly where I want to be." He kissed the top of my head. "I was so jealous," he admitted, "seeing him here, talking to you. I wanted to kill him." "I don't want him," I said. I pulled back to look at Romano's face. "I only want you. I'm so in love with you, it scares me sometimes." Romano smiled, a real, genuine smile. "Good," he said, "because I'm not letting you go. Not now, not ever. You and this baby are mine. For keeps." "For keeps," I agreed. He kissed me, long and deep, and I knew I was home. But Frankie didn't give up. Over the next few weeks, he kept trying to contact me. Phone calls, letters, messages through mutual friends, all of them begging for money, begging for help. I ignored them all. Then, one day, he showed up at the mansion again, but this time he wasn't alone. He had men with him, rough-looking men with guns. Romano's enemies. "Viviana," Frankie called from outside the gates. "Come out. I know you're in there." I was 6 months pregnant now. My belly was big and round. I felt heavy and tired. Romano's guards surrounded the house, guns drawn. "Stay inside," Romano ordered. He kissed me quickly. "Lock yourself in our room. Don't come out until I come get you." "Romano, please be careful." "I will." He touched my face. "I love you." "I love you too." He left to deal with Frankie. I went upstairs like he said, locked the door. But through the window I could see the front gate. Frankie was yelling.
The men with him had their guns pointed at Romano's guards. "Give me Viviana. He owes me. Her husband owes me." "You need to leave," Romano said. His voice was calm, controlled. "Before someone gets hurt. I'm not leaving without her." One of Frankie's men fired a shot. I screamed. Chaos erupted. Romano's guards fired back. People scattered. I couldn't see Romano. Where was he? Was he okay? Then the door to my room burst open. I spun around, my heart racing. It wasn't Romano. It was one of Frankie's men. "Come with me," he said. He grabbed my arm. "No," I tried to pull away. "Let me go." But he was too strong. He dragged me out of the room, down the back stairs. There was a car waiting. He shoved me inside. Frankie was in the driver's seat. "Frankie, what are you doing?" I was terrified. My hands went to my belly, protecting my baby.
"What I should have done from the beginning," Frankie said. He started driving. Fast. "I'm taking what's mine." "I will never be yours." "You will be." His eyes were wild. "Once Romano pays to get you back, I'll have enough money to start over, to be someone important." "He'll kill you for this." Frankie laughed, a harsh, bitter sound. "He has to find us first." Frankie drove for what felt like hours. My whole body shook. My hands stayed on my belly. "Please," I said, "let me go. I'm pregnant." "Shut up," Frankie snapped. "Just shut up." We stopped at an old warehouse on the edge of the city. Frankie pulled me out of the car. His grip on my arm hurt. "You're hurting me," I said. He dragged me inside the warehouse. There were more men inside, 5 of them, all with guns. "Put her in there," one of them said. He pointed to a small room in the back. Frankie shoved me inside. The room had no windows, just concrete walls and a dirty mattress on the floor. The door slammed shut behind me. I heard a lock click. I sank onto the mattress and started to cry. My whole body trembled. I put both hands on my belly. "It's okay," I whispered. "Daddy will find us. He'll come for us." The baby kicked. Fresh tears fell down my face. I could hear Frankie and the other men talking outside the door. "1 million, one man said. "No, 5 million, another argued. "He's rich. He can afford it." "He'll never pay," Frankie said. "What if he doesn't pay?" "Then we kill her," the first man said. My blood went cold. "No," Frankie said quickly. "No, we're not killing her. That wasn't the plan." "The plan was to get rich," the man growled. "If Gotti doesn't pay, she's worthless to us." "She's pregnant." "I don't care." I pressed my mouth to my hand. I was so thirsty. My back ached from sitting on the hard mattress. The baby kept kicking. "I'm sorry," I whispered to my belly. "I'm so sorry." The door opened. Frankie stood there with a bottle of water and a sandwich. "Here," he said. He set them on the floor. "Thank you," I said quietly. He started to leave. "Frankie, wait." He stopped but didn't turn around. "Please," I said. "Please let me go. You don't want to do this." "You don't know anything about what I want." His voice was hard. "You're not a bad person, not really. You're just desperate. But this isn't the answer." He turned around then, his face twisted. "You left me," he said. "You married him. You're having his baby. You were supposed to be mine." "I was never yours," I said. "Not really. We both know that. You said it yourself at the wedding. You didn't love me." "I could have learned to love you." "No," I shook my head. "You couldn't. And I couldn't have learned to love you either. Not the way I love Romano." Romano's face crumpled. "He doesn't deserve you." "Yes, he does." I put my hand on my belly. "He's a good man, a good husband. He'll be a good father." "He's a killer." "So are you now." I looked at him. "You kidnapped a pregnant woman. What do you think Romano will do to you when he finds me?" Frankie's face went pale. He won't find you. Yes, he will, I was certain. He'll tear this city apart until he does, and when he finds you, he'll kill you. Then I'll kill you first. But his voice shook. No, you won't. I stood up slowly. My belly made me clumsy. Because somewhere inside you, the boy I grew up with is still there, and that boy wouldn't hurt me. Frankie stared at me. Then he turned and walked out. The door locked behind him. I sank back onto the mattress. My heart pounded. I must have fallen asleep, because the next thing I knew, I woke up to the sound of gunfire. Loud, close. I scrambled to my feet. My heart raced. More gunshots, shouting, men screaming. The door to my room shook. Someone was trying to break it down. I backed into the corner, my hands on my belly. The door flew open. Romano stood there. His face was covered in blood. His shirt was torn. He had 2 guns in each hand. "Viviana!" He dropped the guns and ran to me. I threw myself into his arms. "Romano!" He held me tight. His whole body shook. "Are you hurt? Did they touch you?" His hands ran over me. "I'm okay. We're okay." I put his hand on my belly. The baby kicked against his palm. Romano made a sound, half laugh, half sob. He dropped to his knees and pressed his face against my stomach. "Thank God," he whispered. "Thank God." I ran my fingers through his hair. "How did you find me?" "I will always find you." He looked up at me. "Always, no matter where you are, no matter who takes you, I will burn down the entire world to get you back." He stood and kissed me, hard. "We need to go, now." He picked me up in his arms and carried me out of the room. Bodies on the floor, Romano's men everywhere, blood and smoke. I buried my face in Romano's neck. He carried me outside to a car, put me in the back seat, got in beside me. "Drive," he ordered his driver, "to the hospital." "I'm fine," I said. "Really. I'm not taking chances, not with you, not with our baby." He held me close the entire drive. His hand stayed on my belly. At the hospital, they checked me over, did an ultrasound, monitored the baby's heartbeat. Everything was fine. The baby was healthy. I was healthy. "You were very lucky," the doctor said. "The stress could have caused complications, but everything looks good." Romano let out a long breath. Some of the tension left his shoulders. When we were alone in the hospital room, he pulled me into his arms again. "I thought I lost you," he said. His voice cracked. "When I came upstairs and you were gone, I've never been so scared in my life." "I'm sorry," I said. "I should have been more careful." "No," he pulled back to look at me. "This wasn't your fault. This was Frankie's fault." "Where is he?" I asked quietly. Romano's face went dark. "Dead." I closed my eyes. "The men with him?" I asked quietly. "All dead." Romano's voice was cold. "I killed every single one of them." "Good." The word surprised me, but I meant it. "They were going to kill me, kill our baby." Romano's hand went to my belly again. "No one will ever hurt you again. I promise you that. I'll protect you and this baby with my life." "I know you will." I touched his face. "I love you." "I love you too." He kissed me. "So much it scares me sometimes." "Me too." We held each other. Romano took me home the next day. He wouldn't let me walk. He carried me from the car to the house, up the stairs to our bedroom. He laid me on the bed. "Rest," he said. "I'll bring you food, water, whatever you need." "I need you." I reached for his hand. "Stay with me." He kicked off his shoes and climbed into bed beside me. His hand rested on my belly. We lay there in silence, just breathing, just being together. "I was so scared," I said. "I thought I might never see you again. I thought they might hurt the baby." "I'm sorry." Romano's voice was rough. "I should have protected you better." "You did protect me. You found me. You saved us." "Not fast enough."
I turned in his arms to look at his face. "Stop. You did everything you could. We're safe now. That's what matters." He studied my face, then he kissed me. Soft at first, then deeper. His hand slid under my shirt, up my side, over my ribs. Heat flooded through me. "Romano," I breathed. "I need you," he said against my lips. "I need to feel you, to know you're really here, really safe." "Yes," I whispered, "yes." We made love slowly. Romano was gentle with me. But I needed him to know I was okay, that we were okay. So I kissed him harder, pulled him closer, moved with him, and he finally let go of his control. Afterwards, we lay tangled together, both of us breathing hard. "I'm never letting you out of my sight again," Romano said. I laughed softly. "You can't watch me every second." "Watch me." He was completely serious. "Romano, I almost lost you today." His voice shook. "I almost lost our baby. I won't let that happen again." I touched his face. "We're here. We're safe. You saved us." "Only because I got lucky. If Frankie had taken you somewhere farther away, if he'd hurt you before I got there." He stopped, swallowed hard. "But he didn't, and I'm fine. The baby's fine." Romano pulled me closer. His hand went to my belly again. "I love you," he said, "both of you, more than I ever thought I could love anyone. I love you too." We fell asleep like that, wrapped around each other, his hand on our baby. The next few months were different. Romano kept his promise. He barely let me out of his sight. He canceled all his business trips. He worked from home. He had his meetings at the house instead of his office.
When I walked through the house, he was always nearby. When I went to the garden, he came with me. When I took a bath, he sat on the edge of the tub and talked to me. At first, it was annoying. I felt smothered. But then I realized something. He wasn't trying to control me. He was trying to heal. My abduction had scared him. He needed to see me, to know I was safe, to touch me and remind himself I was real. So I let him hover. I let him fuss over me. I let him carry me upstairs even though I could walk fine. I'd been scared too, and having him close made me feel safe. As my belly grew bigger, Romano became even more attentive. He read books about pregnancy, about babies, about being a father. He talked to my belly every night, told the baby stories, sang to it, made promises. "I'm going to teach you everything," he'd say to my stomach, "how to be strong, how to be smart, how to protect the people you love." "What if it's a girl?" I asked one night. Romano looked up at me. "Then I'll teach her to be the strongest, smartest woman in the world, like her mother." My heart melted. We made love constantly. My pregnancy made me want him even more, and he couldn't get enough of me. In bed, in the shower, in his office when everyone else was gone. "You're so beautiful pregnant," he'd say, his hands on my round belly. "So perfect." I felt huge and awkward, but when Romano looked at me like that, I felt beautiful. I was 8 months pregnant when we found out we were having a boy. Romano cried when the doctor told us, real tears that rolled down his face. "A son," he whispered. He kissed my belly. "We're having a son." That night, we celebrated, just the two of us, quiet. Romano made love to me slowly and carefully. "I love you," he kept saying, over and over. "I love you so much." "I love you too," I said. Happy tears slid down my face. This was my life now. This man, this baby, this love. And I wouldn't change it for anything. One night, Romano and I were lying in bed. My belly was huge now. The baby would come any day. "Do you remember the deal we made?" Romano asked quietly. I stiffened. "What deal?" "The one where you'd give me an heir and then you could leave." My heart sank. Was he going to make me leave, now that the baby was almost here? "I remember," I said carefully. Romano was quiet. Then he rolled over to look at me. "I'm not holding you to that deal," he said. "You know that, right?" Relief flooded through me. "You're not?" "No," he touched my face. "I told you before.
I love you. I'm never letting you go. You and this baby, you're mine, for keeps. Good, I smiled, because I'm not going anywhere. This is my home. You're my home. He kissed me, deep. I'm going to be the best husband, he promised, the best father. I'm going to give you and our son everything. You already do, I touched his face. You already give us everything that matters. Your love, your protection, your heart. Romano's eyes were bright. I never thought I could have this. A wife who loves me, a family, real happiness. Well, you do, and we're not going anywhere. He pulled me close as my belly would allow, and we fell asleep like that, together, safe, loved. Our old deal was forgotten. We had a new deal now, forever.
Soon the baby was coming. I was in labor. Romano drove us to the hospital. He followed me right into the delivery room until our baby was born.
Later, after I was cleaned up and moved to a regular room, Romano sat in the chair next to my bed. I was holding our son. He was sleeping in my arms. Romano stared at him. What should we name him? I asked. Romano thought. Marco, after my father. Marco, I smiled. I love it. Marco Gotti. Romano stood and came to the bed. He sat on the edge and put his arm around me. We're going to give him everything, Romano said. A good life, a safe life, all the love in the world. He already has that. I leaned against Romano's shoulder. He has us. Romano kissed my head. Then he looked down at our son. I promise you, he said to Marco, I'll protect you and your mother with my life. Nothing will ever hurt you. I'll make sure of it. Marco made a small sound in his sleep. We stayed in the hospital for 2 days. Romano never left. He slept in the chair next to my bed. He helped with Marco, changed diapers, held him while I slept. You're going to be a great father, I told him. Romano looked up from Marco. I hope so. I want to be better than my father was. I want to give him more. You will. I reached for his hand. You already are. On the 3rd day, we went home. Romano had his men surround the car. Guards everywhere. Romano carried Marco inside. He'd set up a nursery while I was in the hospital, a room with a crib and a changing table and toys. When did you do all this? I asked. Last night, while you were sleeping, Romano said. I wanted it to be perfect for him. I wrapped my arms around Romano from behind. It is perfect. You're perfect. He turned in my arms and kissed me. I love you. I love you too. Marco started crying. We both laughed. Welcome to parenthood, I said. Romano picked up our son, held him against his chest, rocked him, and Marco stopped crying. You're a natural, I said. Romano smiled over Marco's head. I had a good teacher. Who, me? I don't know what I'm doing either. We'll figure it out together. He looked at me over Marco's head, just like we've figured out everything else. The next few months were hard. Marco didn't sleep much. He cried a lot. He needed constant attention. But I loved every moment, every sleepless night, every diaper change, every feeding. And Romano was there for all of it. He'd wake up with me in the middle of the night, hold Marco while I showered, rock him to sleep while I ate. I never thought I could love someone as much as I love you, Romano told me one night. We were lying in bed. Marco was asleep in his crib next to us. But then Marco came along, and now I love him just as much. I know what you mean. I turned to look at him. Romano pulled me close. We made him, you and me, this perfect little person. This is the best thing we've ever done. No, Romano kissed me. You're the best thing I've ever done, marrying you, even if you were drunk. I laughed. I can't believe that was less than a year ago. A lot has happened. Yeah, I thought about everything. The wedding, the kidnapping, Frankie, the baby. But I wouldn't change any of it. It all led us here, to our family. To our family, I agreed. Marco made a sound in his sleep. We both looked over at him. He's growing so fast, Romano said. Soon he'll be walking, talking, getting into trouble. Just like his father, I teased. Romano smiled. Probably. I can't wait. I meant it. I can't wait to see what kind of person he becomes. He'll be strong, smart, brave, kind, just like his mother. And ruthless when he needs to be, just like his father. Romano laughed. God help us when he's a teenager.
We lay there in the dark, listening to Marco breathe, holding each other. When Marco was 6 months old, Romano threw a huge party. Everyone came. Family, friends, business associates. The mansion was filled with people, music, food. Marco wore a tiny suit. I wore a red dress, the first nice dress I'd worn since before I was pregnant. Romano stared at me. "You're staring," I said. "I can't help it," he pulled me close. "You're beautiful. I'm still carrying baby weight." "You're perfect," he kissed my neck. "I can't wait to get you alone tonight." Heat rushed through me. We hadn't made love since Marco was born. I'd been too tired, too sore, too focused on the baby. But now I felt ready. I wanted Romano. I missed the feeling of his body against mine. "Tonight," I promised. His eyes darkened. "I'm holding you to that." The party went late into the night. Finally, everyone left. And Romano and I were alone. We went upstairs to our room. Romano locked the door behind us. "Come here," he said. I walked to him. He pulled me into his arms. "I've missed this," he said, "just the two of us." "Me too," I kissed him. "I love Marco more than anything, but I've missed having you all to myself." Romano's hands slid down my back, over my hips. "I'm going to take my time with you tonight." "Good," I started unbuttoning his shirt, "because I want to remember every second." We made love slowly, carefully at first, then with more passion. Romano kissed every curve, every mark the baby had left behind. "You're so beautiful," he kept saying, "so perfect." And in his arms, I felt beautiful. I felt perfect. Afterwards, we lay tangled together, both of us breathing hard. "I love you," Romano said, "more than I ever thought I could love anyone." "I love you too," I traced patterns on his chest. "You're my whole world, you and Marco. And you're mine," he kissed my forehead, "my wife, my family, my everything." I never imagined my life would turn out like this. I thought I'd marry Frankie, have a quiet, simple life, but Romano changed everything. He abducted me from my wedding, forced me to be his wife. But when he gave me a choice to leave, it was too late. I had fallen in love with him, and I was the one who wasn't ready to let him go. Yes, he's a mafia king. Yes, he's killed people. But he's also my protector, my lover, my best friend. And I love him with every piece of my heart. This is our story. The story of how a drunk mistake at a club turned into the greatest love. The story of how the Mafia king found his queen. The story of how I found my home, my heart, my forever. And I wouldn't change a single thing. Not the fear, not the danger, not the chaos. Because it all led me to Romano. And Romano is everything. Forever and always.